Okay, let's do this. So everyone who will be joining there, or if you're on a Zoom or a YouTube or Facebook stream, there you as a participant, you might pop up on our screen. We might see you, or so I will hide you. So just ignore that. So if we have your beautiful face next to us in the chat, I am absolutely okay with it. Love you all. So let's start. I would like to introduce in today's show, Success What It Takes is a professional dancer who has performed on Dancing with the Stars, American Music Awards, and has competed in So You Think You Can Dance Season 11. He will be featured in an upcoming movie In the Heights, which will be released in movie theaters on June 26. His choreography spans multiple platforms, including stage shows such as Reve at the Wynn, love the show by the way, Ballroom With A Twist, and Zendaya's music video Neverland. He is currently a resident choreographer for the Knicks, New York's City Dancers and Team USA Ice Skaters. Please welcome a good friend of mine, Serge Onik. Serge, let me unmute you. Good.
Thank you for having me. It's so good to see you, at least virtually.
Yes, yes, that was a long time. I don't even remember when last time we shared the stage together or even saw each other.
It's at least 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
At least 3 years.
Well. Let me hop in straight and ask you. So the show is called Success What It Takes. So we want to know, being such a successful dancer and choreographer you are, where your journey has begun. When you start dancing, I know you moved to United States when you've been 3 year old, but when you actually started dancing.
Um, so I guess it depends on what you consider dancing, right? When I was like 9 years old, I was part of a Russian cultural program where every week we would meet up and this woman would teach us Russian language and culture, how to read and write. But then we also did like narodsky tanцы, we did cultural dancing. So it was very simple things, but you were already on stage and performing and comfortable with the I guess the limelight, so to speak. But then when I was 12 years old, somehow everyone in my whole life started ballroom dancing, and I was the last to know that this is what we do. So I had to jump on the train really fast and get really good really fast. And that was my thing for like almost, I don't know, 18 years, fully focused on just competing.
Beautiful. Wow. Wow. Well, I did not start with the folk dancing. I was dancing traditional Russian dancing already in the college, where I went to get my ballroom choreographer degree, which unfortunately by the time I was graduating it, they changed the diploma. So I end up, instead of become a choreographer by the book, I became an artist of the folk dance. So that's my degree of my dance college. Yep, I was doing all this Barinya and all the Russian dances. So absolutely know this. It's a really good training, though. Don't you agree for a dancer period?
I mean, it definitely makes you aware of your body. And it's very physical, and it's athletic, I'd say, more so. So it really gets you ready for any direction you want to go.
Absolutely. Let me ask you about this upcoming movie In the Heights. I'm not sure if our audience were able to see the trailer that was playing already, not just on YouTube, but in movie theaters. So what is the movie about and what did you do in it?
So the movie is based off a Broadway show. It's based off Lin Manuel's Broadway show In the Heights, and it's a story of the neighborhood in uptown Manhattan on the west side, where the Dominicans and the Puerto Ricans and Latino community live, and how they get on with their second generation slash immigrant first generation parents and grandparents, the whole melting pot in that area. So because obviously I don't look at that part, the part I play in the movie is when the main character goes downtown and the downtown people at first glance are just doing regular New York City things, and then she turns around and boom, we're all dancing and going crazy. So I play the downtown New York City guy, and got
Well,
blessed with the opportunity to do that. That was great. That was a lot of fun.
but aren't you New York City guy?
I am a New York City guy, so growing up here and then being able to film a movie on the streets here, that was really cool. That was super great experience.
Is it true that the Brooklyn of New York is pretty dancing, ballroom dancing community area?
Brooklyn, absolutely. Brooklyn is a heavy, heavy spot for ballroom competitive dancing. The Katsuman studio, the Brooklyn Dance Club out here, they host a competition every year, and it's massive. Brings the best of the best.
Very, very nice. How you? I believe you were training though a lot in your life with Max Shmerkovsky, and I believe it was in New Jersey, right?
Yes, he had a school, he had a studio in New Jersey where a lot of us came out of. That if you watch Dancing on the Stars and so you think you could dance, every generation you could almost see one of the students from that studio coming in and playing a role, from Max to Val to me to Kiki to Cole. We just kept coming from there.
That's amazing. That speaks a lot about the teachers. And I just worked with Kiki 2 months ago. We finished filming for Penny Dreadful movie that will come out actually after 2 days. In 2 days, it's coming out on a Showtime. So yes, that was a fun
No,
time.
everyone's been watching it.
Yep, yeah, that's we all have now no excuse to not watch it, right?
Right, residuals, residuals.
So we gotta watch it. Serge, will you please tell me for our young viewers who will be watching this on repeat probably, um, what will you recommend for anyone who wanna be on So You Think You Can Dance? What set of skills it require?
Uh, that's a very tough question. That's kind of a loaded question because for everyone, the equation is different. Because So You Think You Can Dance isn't just a dance competition, it's also a TV show. So it's kind of a twofold situation. You have to be either amazing at dance or incredibly awful at dance. Either way, you'll get on the show, right? But if you want to succeed with it, right? So hopefully you have the ability to not be afraid of breaking character and being whatever the story requires of you. Because on So You Think, what makes So You Think special is it's like they feature the dancer more so than any other performance would. Everything usually features the singer or the main actor, and the dancers are behind or up front with them, but still shaping the picture. So you think you're the superstar. So you have to handle that pressure of being a character and sharing that and like showing that light. In a movement that you might not be fully comfortable with, right? So that means the best asset that you can have is being comfortable in movement in general. So by doing that is just taking as many different styles and different classes as much as possible.
Well, speaking about taking classes, what when you were growing up, what's your training look like?
So, like I said, I started with ballroom, competitive ballroom. So it was very strict in that aspect, which for me, ballroom is like the if ballet and street, like Latin social dancing had a baby. Because it gives you the structure of ballet with the rhythm and the technique that you need in social dancing, right? So I was focused on that. But then after auditioning for So You Think for the first time, I was introduced to hip hop and contemporary and jazz. So I like that was my first impression of it, but I fell in love. And when I made it to the Green Mile, but not to the show, so like I knew I needed a little bit more. So I went back to New York, and I for other reasons stopped competing in ballroom, but enrolled in a performing arts school, and I got accepted. I had to audition for a school and where we learned musical theater dancing and ballet every day, jazz, tap dancing, and I would go to Broadway Dance Center to learn hip hop. So that I was trying to do all the styles at the time. And to get into that school, I couldn't do ballroom. I had to audition as one of them. So I auditioned as a contemporary dancer.
Oh wow, that is tough.
It was a lot of YouTube. I was watching a lot of YouTube and just doing really extreme like rumba, just doing really bad dramatic rumba.
That's sweet. Well, this is what makes you professional dancer, the ability to take on more, something that you've never been exploring before, but you have a body awareness with the training you've done with years that you're able to pick up on a style that maybe, never been exposed to. So, for the anything you will tell us about So You Think You Can Dancers, do you have your favorite performance or favorite partner?
Um, That's tough to say, but like I was fortunate enough to work a lot with the contemporary dancers when on my show, like during my season. I got to dance with Sonia for Sonia's piece and for Mandy's Moore's piece. So working with those two choreographers was probably one of my favorite treats. And especially with Sonia, we ended up doing like a mini group. So I did a lot with her. I did a duet with her. I did a main group, and then I did a mini group. And when we did that mini group, that piece from story to movement and partnering, because I not only partnered a girl who was my partner, I partnered with the whole group, right? So it was like it was brilliant how we danced together. That I was emotionally like purging after this performance, like crying, but it wasn't like sad crying. It was just like I don't know, like the whole story had to leave my body. So that moment probably stays with me forever.
Wow, I see. Well, it is fun experience, right? As a choreographer that you right now working about with New York Knicks at this moment, uh, can you tell me about that and you receiving choreography, the information when you actually on the dancer side? Because I believe it's a very difficult and interesting process when you are learning the dance. You are a dancer at this moment, but you have a skill to be a choreographer, so you can see the other side of the kitchen.
Right.
So what's your experience now working with New York Knicks?
Uh, well, the show taught me a lot about choreography in the sense that it really broadened it beyond movement and making stories with everything that you're working with. And the Knicks, why that's amazing is because the tools that you're given to work with, that team of dancers, they're so talented, they're so versatile, they're so strong. And me being a male, having to break character and just choreograph for 20 strong, fierce women, right? That have to fill Madison Square Garden with that energy. It's a vibe. It's a fun time. And then hearing Madison Square Garden call out your name as a choreographer is definitely aces.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think men are pretty good actually choreograph for ladies, don't you think? I've done it.
I mean, I hope so. I like to think I am.
I think I do most of my choreography. I choreograph the girls. Let me reset this away from the computer, so that will also help to reduce the echo. Just give a second. Hold this. Okay. So, um, my next question will be: would you please tell, if you remember, where we met first? What was our first job together?
I was thinking about that yesterday when I was getting ready for this, and I think our first job was on Dancing with the Stars when we had to do a group routine with the boys and Pamela Anderson.
That's absolutely right. It's a really good memories for the first time. So now every time I see you, I think about Pamela Anderson. By the way,
That's good. That's not too bad, hopefully.
yes, I believe it was season 14. I know it was called All Star season, uh, or
Right.
15.
She
Yeah,
was dancing with Tristan.
Tristan, yes, and he took us, Tristan and Pamela Anderson, they took us to this studio in Aquara Hills where we were practicing. And this is, by the way, the first picture ever on my Instagram. Like I started my Instagram with the picture with Pamela Anderson by my side at the rehearsal. But do you remember
Amazing.
this amazing experience where she took us to a sushi restaurant? And I just remembered how passionate she was. It was after one of the rehearsals. I don't know if you went, but she was so passionate about her foundation helping whales, and that was the opportunity for me to learn Pamela Anderson from completely the side I never expect. I just fell in love with how much she cares about this world and the planet.
Right. I mean, that's why the show's amazing because like the celebrities go in, you think they're going to be one way, and then you find out either the good truth or the bad truth, but you really see them for who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody asked if we did Michael Jackson. We also did Michael Jackson.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson. Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was choreographed by Sunny, I believe, right?
Sharna and Sunny. Yeah.
Shorn and Sunny. Oh wow. Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot that one. And it
Yeah.
was
One
a
of my
bit.
favorites.
It wasn't the same season, I believe, right?
I have no idea.
Oh,
Honestly, it's a
I'm
blur. They
so
kind of
yeah.
all they
It is.
blended. My first pro job, I was 17 years old. I did season 2 Dancing with the Stars. So then coming back doing 17 and 18 and 20 and blah blah blah. Like who knows what season was what? I just remember the set and the back kept changing and becoming different.
Wow, that's a really. So the season. Do you remember when 17? What year was that?
2005 or six.
Oh wow, wow. So by it means that by the time we worked with you together in 2012, you were well established dancer in this country when I was just starting. That's so amazing. So I honestly I feel blessed that I were able to book those jobs and be working alongside with amazing dancers like you. So that
Uh, Thanks,
thank
man. Honestly, you're really sweet. That's too kind. I went in. I had my toe dipped when I was 17, and then I went back home. And then I tried to go to college and do that, but that's when the whole training happened. But then when I finally came back, that was after that musical theater school I told you. So when I finally came back to California, it was like a different dancer completely.
Nice. Wow. Well, if you would tell, please, our viewers this, like, if you remember what actually happened when we work with you next time, the next time we work with you together, it was Ballroom With A Twist show in a Cape Cod. And I remember the date because there's a reason to it. It was July of 2013. And do you remember why almost every day I want to leave?
No, remind me.
That was like, this is like the few people actually like reach out to me, like they said like that is a crazy time. So July 2013 was the end of July. We're working in Boston. That's my first bar was a twist. They flew me into Cape Cod,
Uh
and
huh.
I believe you one of those dancers who were teaching me some stuff. Jonathan gave the most part, and then you were helping me overnight learning the 9 dances to perform next day. So I perform, and we were supposed to be there 2 weeks. So I perform, and in a few days, my wife is calling. She's like, "I think I'm gonna deliver today," and I
Yes.
rushed to airport.
Yes. Yes.
I rush to airport and I'm sitting and waiting. Should I buy ticket or I should go back and do tonight's show? And then I'm like, I'm literally in airport, which is 1 hour plus away from the venue we were staying in the Cape Cod. And then she's like, oh no no no, I think I'm good today. I'm think good today. So I go back, I perform. Next day, same thing. I wake up, I go to airport, and I sit there all day when you guys had fun around the town.
Yes. That was crazy. Absolutely.
That was my first Born with a Twist live show. So we did a TV show together in 2012, a live show in 2013, and months later, I just dig into my Instagram. I find out we performed in Chicago for Jenny McCarthy charity event.
That was a crazy, crazy
I don't
event.
remember who you were. Do you remember who you were dancing with?
Yeah, I danced with Kelly Monaco.
Nice, nice.
She danced Dancing with the Stars season 1, and then she came back for the All Star season with Val. I think they won, right? If I'm not crazy,
Uh,
won or
maybe.
second, something in the finals. I don't remember.
Yeah, I know she. I remember she was incredible. That's for sure. Yeah, I was that time I was as a we just did professional performance. I was dancing with Chelsea Hightower at that event.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
Yes, and I
That's
remember this. I found this red carpet picture when we in suits with Jenny McCarty and all the other dancers, amazing dancers, Paul Barris. Yes, so it was a really fun event. Um, so, do you like now? Since we're talking about the live performances, every professional dancer has a story to tell about live performance. What happened? Something unusual that you can share with us? That something memorable happened at the live stage performance that you cannot take second take.
um, it's probably two. Like I'll always remember on Ballroom with the Twist because like there's different situations, right? So like on Ballroom with the Twist, we did the same routines for so many times, so many years that like the moves become second nature. So we end up playing kind of the games in between the dances, either changing partners or like throwing imaginary stuff at each other, like snapping, touching. So it's just those moments I'll always remember as a group and as a family, like creating like playing jokes on each other, making each other laugh on stage. But if on So You Think You Could Dance, there was a moment I'll remember where like, and on So You Think everything's like 1,000 times more stressful because you're on camera, you think you're a superstar, like things are intense. And we have this choreography where my partner is supposed to, she does a pirouette or something and she ends up like perpendicular to me and she's supposed to like bend backwards and I'm supposed to catch her head with my foot, right? But she finished the turn and she like was amazing every single time, like perfect, 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 perfect. And this time when it was live, she like did it and was like kind of on tilt and would have fell. And I, in my head, I just thought I was like, this is television. You are not failing, and like a minor, just a partner like adjustment, like, and it was perfect again. So I'll
Oh,
just always remember that like stressful situation.
look at who is joining us live on Instagram.
Hey, Alan.
Alan is our buddy from Ballroom With A Twist. We're so happy to see you. That's the one of the topics today.
Alan just got married, so everybody can congratulate Alan on that.
Say it again.
Alan just got married.
Oh, Alan, congratulations. Welcome to the family life. Babies are next. Yeah. So, Alan, we definitely want to have you joining my Success What It Takes show one day and tell your incredible story. Alan is a professional dancer and also has a beautiful dance studio, I believe, in Philly, right?
Yup.
Yep. So, okay, Serge, my next question to you is well, oh, that's what, yes, I just put a note for me. I actually found you were performing at the private event for Accent Dance Show Entertainment, where we did a 360 choreography, if you remember, that was rotating. That we danced with you, you with your partner, and I with my partner, and we just danced. It was
Where
in, it
did we
was
film
in,
this?
it was Northridge. We did, I believe, Little Party song, and
Uh huh.
we had to face like this, constantly
Yes,
change.
yes.
So my question to you: how it feels to work with Accent Dance Studios Entertainment?
Love Accent Dance Studios, man. Accent Dance Studios is you've been hustling from the beginning, and your inspiration.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Like I say again, it's be surrounded with amazing human beings like you. I was blessed. I will never stop repeating myself that this country gives opportunity if you get a skill, talent or skill, and it's regardless. Doesn't matter what race you are, what religion you are, and what's the financial background you have, so you have a chance. And this country gave me chance, and I was surrounded and motivated by working with people like you. And also I believe in this relatively recent study by Bruce Lipton, who's saying that our environment changes our DNA. So if you surrounded by people that are driven, you will be driven. If you're surrounded by people who are healthy, you will be healthy. And it doesn't matter if all your family had a cancer or some history. You can change it by exposing yourself to different environment. And that's the thing that I'm thankful to you for.
I appreciate that. But also, you have to take in consideration. You can't forget thanking yourself because the opportunity was given to you, but you can't wait for it. You have to attack it, and you can't wait to think like, when am I going to be ready for it? You came, you saw, and you ran for it. So that's the difference, you know.
Yes, beautiful, beautifully said. I want you to actually elaborate on this a little bit. So when like I have a dance students and they always not ready to go to dance competition, or they say like, oh, this showcase they will skip, or the video shoot is coming and they know it's going to be on YouTube, and they're like, oh my god, no, like I have to take 20 lessons and it's in 2 days, I cannot make it, and they putting so much pressure on themselves. What advice you will give them on setting their mind on just do it, to understand that taking action is so important?
So opportunities come up randomly. You don't know necessarily when they're going to be, but no matter what, it's always a surprise. So you're always going to be caught off guard and feel like you're not prepared. If you ask anyone who ever did anything special, they will always say they were not ready for the first time that they blew up or something went right. You have to be doing it for it to happen. So you have to trust your process. So the kids, like your students, they go to your studio, you have a weekly schedule, you have a monthly syllabus for them, and they consistently put in the work and the hours like a treadmill, just working it, working it, working it. And you have to trust the process and trust the people that you chose as mentors to guide you so that when an opportunity comes, no matter the condition that you find yourself in, you just go for it. Because even if you fail in an audition, that doesn't mean you don't book it, because they might see the potential and want to take you anyway because your look is great or you match the story. There's so many um, people and choices that are part of a mix that you never know what you can do to help except just be yourself. You know, like you'll never, if you try to be this, they might look for that. So you don't have any other option besides just be yourself. And when it's your time to kill it, it's going to happen.
Yep, absolutely. You just remind me this case, which I hope will inspire my students too. I was when I was auditioning for Penny Dreadful, which was my last movie project. That was like I don't know how many people. There was just insane amount of people. But this one girl, she messed up really bad, and but she had the absolute look that they wanted. So they asked her to dance it again with another partner, and guess what? She messed up again. Not as bad, but she did mess up again, and I won't say her name because why? She's actually booked the job because they
Right.
saw potential in her and they absolutely understood that she was nervous. She's young, but she has the Spanish look they wanted, and she had a body and skills and ability. All she just had was just a little bit nervous, and when people know, in case of the Penny Dreadful, the people know the production will take at a slower pace than the audition. So they were okay to take her on board and knowing that they will show her 100 times if needed, because in the
Right.
end of the day, the viewer will never ask, how many times did this person practice? They'll say,
Right. They'll
you
have no
did it.
idea.
In the end of the story, you did it.
You know, they'll have no idea. Absolutely. The problem is when you're afraid to make a mistake and you like go 50%, you're making a mistake regardless. So if you're gonna make a mistake already, do it with flames on, and people might like it.
Absolutely. You gotta give your all. You never know. What advice, Serge, you can give to our dance viewers for expanding their performance skills, because your energy is so contagious, and I'll tell you, my favorite part of you performing live on Born with a Twist is your solo in jive. You will go and the entire backstage dancers, because that was just your solo with your partner, we will all cheering and clapping and like yelling go sir, because your energy was so contagious. I don't know if you can tell us like how you even achieve that within you. Besides that, I know it can come naturally, but what
It's
else can
definitely
dancers
not
do?
natural because I think I'm genuinely like more laid back. Like I keep my energy over here. But that first of all, that moment in Bebop, that jive solo, which I learned off of Lenny. So like I tried to embody a little bit of Lenny in me when I did it. So it was my favorite part of the whole show. Like I waited the whole show to do those like 6/8 of jive at the end of it. But honestly, how I told you, I started in cultural dancing. So that performance, doing Russian plays and having to do like waltzes like that, taught me one thing. Competing and having to get the attention of a judge and the audience on a ballroom round, that was a different lesson. Learning how to perform on camera for television, that like acting, taking acting classes, learning improv. You know, like you have to constantly change the medium in front of you. You know, and that way you're going to pick up little tools from every exercise. You know, just stay busy, just keep doing things, even if like it's a fun project with a friend and you're just testing out a new camera. Just like keep going for it. You don't have to wait for like $1,000 project to pay you to try something.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of professional dancers know that you have to put so much ahead of game, before you can actually get paid for the first time.
Right.
So now we absolutely blessed as a dancers that we have this TikTok platform that now not just a social media, it's a social media platform that encourage dancing.
Right.
So this is a really good thing for a lot of people to get out there and put them skills, and you never know. I remember Katy Perry herself said that there is so many girls in Africa sings better than her, but they do not put themselves out there, whether they cannot, or maybe they choose to not. It's not that everybody
It's
financially
not
doesn't have a
possible.
device. Yeah, some people don't show up to audition, you know? Some
Well,
people
not even,
don't
but
put the
like
YouTube video.
there's not internet everywhere. But like now that like more internet and more Wi-Fi capability is going to be throughout the world, we're going to see artists pop up all over the place.
Yep. Yep. So let's me ask our viewers if any of you have a question. If you on the Zoom, you can write in the chat and you can ask question, or if you in the Instagram, you can just type it in the comment. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can also type. We'll try to get to it. Hi, Michael. This is my very good friend. Serge, if you ever seen my music video with Joy Fatone, Michael was
Mm-hmm.
shooting it.
Oh, amazing.
So he's a very good friend of mine, professional videographer, director. Sherry, addicted to TikTok, thanks once again to Armand. Yes, Sherry is my 7+ student, and she is now putting a duet TikTok in hip hop, which is she's a ballroom student, which just makes me really happy. You should always push for something new.
All right, we got two questions. We got a question on each. Do I have a partner you've been the longest with, and what keeps you together? Competitively, I had like a weird thing where I ended up only having partners for like 2 years at a time. Um, and for me, it was perfect because every time I changed a partner, I felt like I just elevated and elevated and got better and better. Some other couples can stay together for decades, and they use that to their advantage because their connection and their relationship grows together so strong. Um, it's really what your personal like people skills are like. What was it like coaching for the Olympics? I mean, that was a fascinating circumstance because as a ballroom dancer, Olympics was never part of the goal. You know, like that wasn't an option. So my whole life, I was like, Olympics is cool, but I'll never be there, I guess, unless I'm dancing like in the opening. You know, but I somehow got into like coaching and choreographing for figure skating, and that is in the Olympics. So my first year wasn't the Olympics, but my third year was. So first I was just getting into it, and then like Olympic buzz starts. People start talking about, ooh, next year's Olympics. We need to get ready for our Olympic year and our routine and blah blah blah. So now you know that your choreography, you realize, is going to be at the Olympics. And then one of the couples that I got to choreograph for actually placed the third and got the bronze medal. So my choreography was on the podium in that sense. So that
Ooh,
was very cool.
that's a big deal. What's our next question?
Thanks, Elaine. I love that. That's
Serge,
another question.
Serge, but how you as a ballroom dancer, to like tell me as a choreographer, how do you study to understand what you need to choreograph for ice skating?
So you'd be surprised how many similarities there are between figure skating and ice and ballroom. So especially with the ice dancers. So the ice dancers is just basically ballroom partners on ice. So they deal with all the same stuff. So competitively and practice wise, I did exactly the same thing. But when it comes to movement, they can't settle. So ballroom, everything is based off the settling action. That disappears in skating. So you kind of like bring jazz technique, which is the plie, right, and the parallel plie, um, and morph it with a ballroom top, and then you have your figure skating technique brought to you by Serge Onik.
Oh wow! So were you able, as a choreographer, choose the music?
It depends. It really depends. I work with a lot of different teams. So depending on the team is depending on how much influence I have. A lot of coaches have a system already in place where they choose. They're like, we know what song we want. We want this. Serge, can you just come up with some steps for us? And then some people are like, cool. We totally trust you. Do you have any ideas for next season? And we kind of like riff and play with it together.
I see. Do you have another question there?
What am I binge eating through quarantine? I make a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches. Um, I got a George Foreman, and I do a lot of burgers, a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches, a lot of steaks, and I'm obsessed with popsicles. I have like 10 popsicles a day. I'm kidding, I'm not, but like a lot.
What other hobbies you have?
What other hobbies am I doing? Honestly, the first 2 weeks, my only hobby was Netflix, and then after that, I cleaned the entire apartment. I like color coordinated my entire closet. It's pretty OCD, but like you can't really leave the house right now. So besides like remodeling kind of little things in the room, I got really big. I'm trying to Zoom teach. I'm teaching a lot of privates and classes through the week. So in between the Zoom classes, I'll do like a workout class on someone else's Zoom or take someone else's class. So I'm just trying to stay busy as much as possible so that when I do relax, I feel like it's worth it and not like I've been doing it for 36 hours straight.
Wow, this is a great opportunity now for any of you watching to maybe Serge will find a time for you to get a class, because we are so limited before this era of just in-person training. And if you're not in New York for Serge and you're not in LA for me, you don't have access to the coaches like us. So, but now Serge is in the bottom of what's in the reach of the click, with the reach of the
Yeah.
one click. So if you want some workshops, feel free to reach out to him directly. We're gonna do more stuff in Accent Studios. We're gonna do more stuff in Accent Studios. So yes, Serge, wanted to ask you a very important question. The main topic of the show is called Success, What It Takes. So, being a professional dancer and choreography, give us one piece of advice. What it takes to become a successful dancer and choreographer, in your opinion?
Uh, Successful dancer and choreographer. What are we defining success as? Someone who works?
Well, I want you to take that yourself, because everyone sees success different, and I don't want you to put my success on you.
Right. So I'll play devil's advocate. It really depends on what you define as success. So if you believe success is making the money from the act of doing it, to be a successful dancer does not mean that you have to become on Dancing with the Stars or do a show or anything. It literally means that you know a craft well enough that you're able to either perform it or teach it or replicate it, create movement, because that's choreographer, dancer, teacher. There's a lot of avenues within dance. So you could become a cameraman even though you started as a dancer. So like in that sense, you're still successful. Like I right now choreograph for figure skating, even though I started as a ballroom teacher. So you never know where it's gonna go in that sense. But as long as you're honest with what you're doing, like I don't teach plumbing because I don't know jack about plumbing. But if you know your craft and really study something, you'll be successful in it. Like the Gary Vee method. You know what I mean? Like know what you're selling, really believe in it, love your product, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's going to end up being successful because it's real. So if you're going to be a dancer, know how to dance, take classes, know the history of dance. Don't just learn off TikTok. Practice on TikTok, perform on TikTok, but then find out where it came from and learn about it. If you're going to choreograph, practice choreographing dances, learn from other choreographies where you see the tradition and where the inspirations came from. Learn about the field that you want to be in.
Thank you so much, sir. That's a beautiful answer. To finish up, I want to say Hi, Armin. Thank you so much. Seven House 24. I appreciate feedback. Serge, I want to finish up. If you please tell us, where can we see you soon? Is there any projects upcoming besides In the Heights movie that we might get you on the TV, on the big screen?
Right now, nothing in the television is brewing, but because we're all stuck at home on quarantine, the next time you probably could see me is when I post about a Zoom class that you guys can hop on board with.
Perfect, perfect. And please tell our viewers where they can find you. What's your people who will be watching us on Facebook or YouTube or Zoom? What's your Instagram or website?
You can find me at Serge Onik everywhere.
Everywhere. Oof, that is the best. Serge, thank you so much for being with us today. I hope our young and older dancers and overall people who have a goal to achieve something will take your advice and pursue what they love to do in life.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I hope the kids learn something from this.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you soon then, hopefully in a Zoom class.
Love you.